Chosen one, there's a decree in the spirit. God has spoken. Judgment is ensuing over the wicked, and this cult. You can't be stopped. You were called, and instantly, everything became clear. A cult that's been soul-trapping and soul-binding chosen vessels is being exposed, dismantled, and judged in real time. The enemy saw your calling long before you did, and their fear made them form an alliance built on deception and stolen power. But their system is crumbling. Chosen one, what's happening isn't chaos, it's justice. You weren't just protected, you were positioned. The attacks proved your anointing. The verdict, you win, always. Now watch how this connects to you. You carry that same pure essence, that same untapped spiritual power. But you are not a child. You are a fully activated spiritual warrior with bloodline gifts beyond comprehension. So when rituals were attempted on you, when soul-binding ceremonies were performed, when the strongest practitioners were sent after your energy, something unprecedented happened. Nothing worked, and that is when the report came back. The practitioner hired, the root worker paid, whoever was doing the spiritual dirty work, that person came back with information that changed everything. The report said you are a spiritual leader. You carry ancestral protection. You are covered by archangels. You have unique DNA that makes you immune to their attacks. You are a seraphim in human form, operating with divine authority that outranks their entire cult combined. The practitioner told them to stop, warned them that coming after you would bring catastrophic consequences. And here is the part that shows you exactly who you are dealing with. The warning was ignored. Arrogance was that deep. So doubling down happened. More rituals were performed. Sex rituals, full moon ceremonies. More people got involved. Your karmic ex was working with them. Family members, possibly a sibling, were feeding information. Friends you trusted were gathering intelligence. This was coordinated. This was organized. This was a full cult operation designed to break you, bind you, and steal everything heaven assigned to you. And chosen one, every single attempt failed spectacularly. But here is what you need to understand about that failure. It was not passive. It was not like spells just fizzled out into nothing. No, every curse sent your way boomeranged back and hit the sender with multiplied force. Every ritual performed to trap you actually bound them instead. Every hex crafted became a snare stepped into by its creator. This is spiritual law. This is how the universe self-corrects when wickedness tries to consume righteousness. And now, right now as you are reading this, the harvest of seeds planted in darkness is being experienced. Let me show you what is happening to this organization. Catastrophic damages, that phrase kept coming through in my spirit. Severe and widespread destruction that poses serious risk to human life. This cult is falling apart. People are dropping like flies. I sensed that phrase multiple times. Dropping like flies, heart attacks, car wrecks, sudden illnesses that doctors cannot explain. And it is not random. It is precise. It is targeted. It is divine judgment, executing with perfect accuracy. Those who performed rituals on Halloween, those specific ceremonies are now manifesting as personal nightmares. Those who poisoned your food or your drink are now experiencing poisoning in their own bodies. Those who tried to cause car accidents for you are the ones getting into catastrophic wrecks. You healed from poison that would have killed anyone else. Your unique DNA processed what should have destroyed you and turned it into strength. That thing put in your food, that energy sent to your cup, it did not work because your cellular structure operates on frequencies beyond their access. You are built different, chosen one, not metaphorically, literally. Your spiritual immune system is reinforced by ancestral codes, by angelic protection, by divine grace that rewrites curses into blessings before contact can even be made. But attempts kept coming, and this is where the desperation becomes visible. Time is running out for them. I sense that phrase clear as day, running out of time, because you are ascending. You are leveling up. You transformed from someone manipulation seemed possible on, into a high priestess or high priest, into a divine powerhouse, into a spiritual leader operating with authority that threatens their entire system. And the more you step into your power, the more their power diminishes. It is like a seesaw. As you rise, the fall happens. As your light gets brighter, their darkness gets exposed. So now scrambling is happening. Some want out. Attempts to abandon the plan are being made. Desires to leave town disappear, start over somewhere else are active. But here is what is being learned the hard way. There is no geographic cure for spiritual consequences. Divine judgment cannot be outrun. The angels have coordinates, justice knows names, and the catastrophic damages activated when someone anointed by the Most High was touched. Those consequences will follow wherever the running goes. And chosen one, here is where I need you to really listen. Judgment is not being experienced just because you were attacked. Judgment is being experienced because of who was attacked. You were born into a lineage of shamans. Gifts were inherited from ancient ancestors who walked between worlds. You carry the legacy of Anubis. You have Thoth intelligence. You are connected to Atlantean wisdom. This is not fantasy. This is your actual spiritual inheritance written into your DNA before your first breath. Your grandmother passed over specifically to protect you from the other side. Your African ancestors are standing guard around you right now. You have archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Sandalphon assigned to your mission. When this cult tried to bind you, binding someone who has been protected since childhood was being attempted. Someone who was being guided with divine assignment, coded into existence itself. The protection and guidance from youth was real. You were never alone even when abandonment was felt. You were never unprotected even when attacks came from every direction. You were never without backup even when family betrayed and friends turned into enemies. Some of your own family members were part of this. Blood relatives who should have covered you instead joined the cult trying to destroy you. Maybe membership in secret societies already existed. Eastern Star, Freemasons, groups that required family member sacrifice for advancement. Maybe jealousy over gifts you carried that were desired existed. Maybe your light exposed darkness and resentment was created. Maybe agreements were made before you were born, attempts to dedicate you to systems you were never meant to serve. But something in you rejected the programming. Something in you said no to paths laid out by others. Something in you reached for light even when surrounded by darkness. That was not rebellion, chosen one. That was your spirit recognizing its true home. That was your soul refusing counterfeits. That was divine assignment activating despite everything working against it. And now freedom is yours while bondage is theirs. Now rising is happening for you while collapse is happening for them. Now walking in purpose is your reality while running out of time is theirs. If this touched your heart and mind, hype this video so more chosen ones can receive this message. Your premonitions are manifesting. Everything seen in dreams is coming to pass. Every warning felt in your spirit is being confirmed. Certain people could not be trusted. You were right. Something dark operating behind smiles and family gatherings was sensed. You were accurate. Your intuition was never paranoia. Your spiritual senses were never exaggeration. You were tapped into divine intelligence, showing you truth before obviousness arrived for everyone else. And being called crazy for it happened. Being told you were too sensitive, too spiritual, too intense, happened. Being accused of being judgmental when boundaries were set, happened. Your faith was mocked when spiritual warfare was discussed. But chosen one, time is proving you were simply awake in a room full of people still sleeping. And now those same people who mocked are experiencing unexplainable attacks. Now desperate seeking of spiritual solutions is happening. Now begging for the mercy from the God ignored when you tried to warn is happening. Here is what the scripture says that keeps coming through my spirit. Those who cause sin and break divine law will be cast into the fiery furnace, experiencing weeping and gnashing of teeth, while the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of the Father. This passage concludes the parable of the wheat and weeds. At the end of the age, the wicked will be separated from the righteous and destroyed, while the faithful enter the joy of divine kingdom. Do you understand what time it is? This is the end of an age. This is the great separation happening right now. The wheat is being divided from the weeds. The righteous are being set apart from the wicked. And if you are seeing this, if something in your spirit is responding to this frequency, you are wheat, you are righteous, you are about to shine like the sun, while darkness gets consumed by fire, it created for others. This cult, these wicked individuals, are under severe judgment right now. But it is not just spiritual consequences. Legal trouble exists. Police got called. Somebody got caught. There is evidence of crimes against humanity. I sense those words specifically. Crimes against humanity. This goes beyond personal attacks and spiritual warfare. This touches on missing children, national news level exposure, kidnapping charges, hidden wheels within wheels. This cult has been operating with impunity for so long that invincibility was assumed, wealth would protect, positions would shield, connections would keep secrets buried, but God is orchestrating exposure on a scale never imagined by them. Witnesses are coming forward. Technology is capturing what was thought hidden. Evidence is being gathered that will shake people to their core when the full truth comes out. And chosen one, protection is yours through all of it. Coverage is yours while revelation unfolds. Standing in authority is your position, while their kingdoms crumble. Now watch this connection. Initiation was desired. After everything was done, after all the attacks, after all the rituals, the strategy shifted from destruction to recruitment. Your power was finally recognized. Operating on levels unreachable through their methods was seen, so bringing you into their fold was thought to enable control of that power. Harnessing what could not be stolen was the plan. But you already have the real thing. Why would divine anointing be traded for demonic agreements? Why would heaven's backing be exchanged for hell's counterfeit? Interest does not exist. Impression has not been made. Exactly what this organization is has been recognized, and your rejection of their offer is another nail in their coffin, because it proves their methods have no power over someone truly walking with God. It proves all their rituals, all their ceremonies, all their sacrifices produce nothing but judgment on their own heads. It proves that one person in right alignment with divine will is more powerful than entire organizations operating in darkness. And here is your mission clarified. You are here to bring people back to God. You are here to speak truth that exposes deception. You are here to break generational curses. You are here to close demonic portals. You are here to liberate people trapped in systems designed to keep them enslaved. You are here to demonstrate that righteousness is not weakness, that faith is not foolishness, that one voice speaking boldly can shatter years of accepted lies. This is why stopping you was attempted so hard, because once full stepping into this calling happens, once complete embracing of this identity occurs, once operating in full authority without doubt or hesitation becomes your norm, their entire operation gets threatened. One spiritual leader walking in truth can dismantle decades of carefully constructed darkness, and chosen one, you are that leader. You are that voice. You are that light. No amount of blowing can extinguish. Monitoring is happening right now. Your influence is being watched. Souls pulled from their grasp are being counted, and panic is setting in because the more you rise, the more the fall happens. The more you speak, the more lies crumble. The more you demonstrate divine protection, the more people question false security offered through secret handshakes and blood oaths. You are a walking, breathing threat to every system built on manipulation, and you are just getting started. When I sensed the cult leader energy with death by fire, that was not symbolic language. That was a literal spiritual consequence manifesting in the physical realm. Fire represents purification, but it also represents complete consumption. What was built through wickedness is being burned to ash. Reputations, health, finances, relationships, everything constructed on a foundation of darkness is going up in flames. This is not just bad luck. This is not just karma. This is targeted divine intervention. When God moves in judgment, there is a precision to it that human revenge could never achieve. The thing used to attack you becomes the thing that destroys the attacker. The exact weapon crafted becomes the tool of demolition. You see this pattern everywhere in the spiritual realm. Poisoning you was attempted. Now poisoning is being experienced. Causing accidents for you was attempted. Now catastrophic car wrecks are happening to them. Trapping your soul was attempted. now being trapped in inescapable consequences is their reality. This is why you keep getting away with it, because for a season, untouchability seemed real. For a time, evil winning and righteousness struggling appeared to be the case. But chosen one, that was never the reality. That was just the setup for a greater demonstration of divine power. The pit was being allowed to be dug deeper by God. Evidence against themselves was being allowed to be gathered by heaven. The angels were documenting every ritual, every curse, every wicked act, so that when judgment finally fell, no one could say injustice occurred. And now the evidence is undeniable. There are stolen identity documents and tax fraud in this spiritual atmosphere. Not just spiritual wickedness was being done, actual crimes in the physical realm were being committed. Identity theft to steal people's resources, financial manipulation to fund operations, and all of it is about to be exposed because when God pulls back the curtain, everything gets revealed. Not just the spiritual component, everything. Police investigations that went cold are suddenly heating back up. Witnesses who were too afraid to speak are finding supernatural courage. Technology is recovering data thought permanently deleted. This is orchestrated exposure happening on multiple levels simultaneously. You are not just someone who happened to survive. You are the catalyst that triggered this entire divine intervention. Your existence, your light, your refusal to be consumed, that activated a response from heaven never anticipated by this organization. When coming after you happened, attacking a random person was not what was happening. Touching someone marked with divine assignment was what occurred. Someone covered by angelic armies, someone whose ancestors are still active in the spirit realm, fighting battles on their behalf. You have very rare gifts in your spiritual atmosphere, superpowers, abilities to slay demons. This is not metaphor, chosen one. You carry spiritual weapons that most people never develop. You have discernment that cuts through deception like a sword. You have spiritual vision that sees beyond the physical into the realm where battles are actually fought. You have authority in your voice that makes demons tremble when truth is spoken. These are the gifts stealing was desired. These are the abilities access was attempted through binding rituals. But what is given by divine appointment cannot be stolen. What is protected by blood covenant cannot be hijacked. Your family line carries this. This goes back generations. Your grandmother who passed over is fighting for you from the other side. Your ancestors who walked shamanic paths are running interference you do not even see. When you sleep, being awake is their state. When you are unaware, being on guard is their position. This is multidimensional protection, operating constantly, without you having to consciously activate anything. But the cult did not know this when starting. Your light was seen and being unprotected was assumed. Your gifts were seen and being unaware was thought. Your potential was seen and being able to redirect it for their purposes was believed. This was the fatal miscalculation, because what looks like vulnerability to predators is actually a trap set by heaven. You were bait, chosen one. Not in a way that put you in real danger, because coverage was always present, but in a way that drew out wickedness, so it could be dealt with permanently. You have been prophesying their downfall without even realizing it. Every time justice coming was spoken about, releasing it was what was happening. Every time declaring that God sees everything occurred, activating divine response was what was happening. Every time praying for protection happened, fortifying walls around yourself that made attacks bounce back on attackers was what was happening. Your words carry creative power, chosen one. What you speak does not just describe reality. Shaping reality is what happens. This is why guarding your mouth matters. This is why speaking life over yourself is not just positive thinking, it is spiritual warfare. This cult wanted you to doubt yourself. Questioning your gifts, your calling, your worthiness was desired. People were sent into your life specifically to make feeling inferior happen. Situations were orchestrated, designed to shake your confidence. Thoughts were planted through manipulation and witchcraft, trying to convince you that being nothing special was reality. But chosen one, if being nothing special was true, why did an entire organization need to come against you? If being just regular was accurate, Why were rituals, practitioners, and coordinated attacks required? If being truly powerless was reality, why are people dropping like flies while you are still standing? Your survival is the proof of your anointing. Your continued blessing in the face of attacks is the evidence of divine favor. Your peace in the middle of chaos is the testimony that perfect love casts out fear. And now, as judgment manifests in their lives, your vindication becomes public. People who watched you struggle are about to see you triumph. People who witnessed the attacks are about to see the defense. People who questioned whether God was real are about to get undeniable proof through what happens next in your life versus what happens in theirs. For too long, the wicked seemed to prosper while the righteous struggled. For too long, people who lied and cheated appeared to advance while people who maintained integrity stayed stuck. But that season is over. The scales are rebalancing. And those who kept faith even when it looked like it was not paying off, you are about to experience a shift so dramatic that everyone will know something supernatural happened. This is the magnum opus, the highest form of alchemy, taking everything meant for evil and watching God transmute it into gold for your benefit. Every betrayal becomes a testimony. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every attack becomes authority. Every tear becomes a well others will drink from when hope is needed. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Every single thing you went through was preparing you for this moment when stepping into fullness of purpose happens with a story that proves God is real and promises never fail. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation, and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition, and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. There were moments wanting to quit existed. Moments wanting to walk away from the calling existed. Moments questioning whether it was worth it existed. Moments looking at regular people living regular lives and wondering what not carrying this assignment would be like existed. I am here to tell you that those moments were part of the refining process. Those moments were burning off everything not essential. Those moments were testing whether holding on to purpose even when it hurt would happen. The test was passed. The fact that still being here, still believing, still fighting, still moving forward is your reality proves passing happened. And now transitioning from the testing phase into the reigning phase is occurring. From the warfare season into the victory season. From the wilderness into the promised land. Not because the battle is completely over, but because proving you can fight from a position of rest has happened. Warring from a place of peace can happen. Overcoming while maintaining joy can happen. This is mastery, chosen one. Mastering the art of standing firm when everything around you is shaking has happened. Mastering the discipline of guarding your heart when betrayal comes from close quarters has happened. Mastering the wisdom of discerning energy over accepting words has happened. Mastering the strength of walking away from what does not serve your purpose, even when it costs relationships, has happened. Now let me show you something about the children component of this spiritual atmosphere, because this is where the judgment gets even more intense. This cult has been involved in things that make the angels weep, using innocence to fuel power, harvesting pure energy from those who cannot defend themselves. This is why the fire coming for them burns so hot. When heaven moves to protect children, there is a ferocity to the judgment that exceeds anything else. Attacking adults who have capacity to fight back and facing certain consequences is one thing, but harming children, exploiting innocence, using purity as sacrifice for wicked ambitions, activates a level of divine rage that has no mercy attached to it. This is why the phrase crimes against humanity came through, because what has been done goes beyond personal vendettas and spiritual attacks. This touches the untouchable. Part of your assignment is standing in the gap for these little ones, not necessarily through physical rescue operations, though some may be called to that, but through prayer, through awareness, through speaking about what operates in darkness, so hiding can no longer happen. Your voice matters in this. When talking about these realities happens, when refusing to pretend everything is fine happens, when calling out wickedness, even when people think extreme is what you sound like happens, creating accountability in the spiritual realm that translates to consequences in the physical is what you are doing. This is why silencing you specifically was attempted so hard. Because you are not just a spiritual leader. You are a voice that exposes operations. Every time truth is spoken, light shines in places needing to be kept dark. Every time refusing to be quiet happens, emboldening others to do the same happens. Every time standing firm in what you know despite opposition happens. Creating permission for others to trust what they sense happens. Not just surviving attacks is what you are doing. Dismantling entire systems through your refusal to be consumed by them is what is happening. This is going to be important in the coming days, because seeing things that shock you might happen. People thought stable having complete breakdowns. Individuals who seemed untouchable losing everything overnight. Family members who appeared healthy receiving terminal diagnoses. And if being anchored in understanding spiritual law is not your state, starting to feel something that looks like compassion, but is actually manipulation trying to pull you into false responsibility might happen. Real compassion recognizes that consequences are merciful, because stopping people from accumulating more judgment is what happens. Real compassion understands that sometimes the most loving thing heaven can do is remove the ability to continue harming others. Real compassion knows that what looks like destruction is actually intervention preventing even worse outcomes. Holding on to this perspective when seeing the dominoes start falling is required, because falling is what is happening. Right now, at this moment, the cult member who thought wealth would protect is discovering money cannot buy a way out of divine judgment. The practitioner who believed their magic was strongest is finding out angelic power operates on frequencies they cannot even access. The family member who assumed blood would excuse betrayal is learning that spiritual family supersedes natural family when it comes to divine covering. The ex who tried to bind themselves to your destiny is experiencing the breaking of every cord attempted to be created. You have abilities that go beyond the 5 physical senses. Feeling energy in rooms can happen. Sensing intentions behind words can happen. Perceiving spiritual atmospheres can happen. Detecting when something is off, even without being able to explain logically why it can happen. These are not signs that something is wrong with you. These are confirmations that something is extraordinarily right with you. Most people live their entire lives completely unaware of the spiritual dimension. Sensing when entities are present cannot happen for them. Feeling when curses are sent cannot happen. Perceiving when rituals are being performed against them cannot happen. This lack of awareness makes vulnerability exist. But awareness is what you have. Spiritual sensitivity that alerts you to danger before full manifestation is what you possess. This is a gift, chosen one. A supernatural early warning system that has saved you countless times from traps never even consciously seen. The cult hated this about you. Wanting you completely unaware so being easy to manipulate would be possible was desired. Needing you spiritually asleep so rituals could work unimpeded was required. But cooperating with their plan is not what you would do. Waking up kept happening. Sensing things kept happening. Asking questions kept happening. Feeling like something was wrong, even when everyone around you said everything was fine, kept happening. This made being difficult to control what you were. This made being dangerous to their agenda what you were. This made being a threat that had to be eliminated what you were. Except eliminating what God has sealed cannot happen. Destroying what heaven has marked for purpose cannot occur. Killing what is protected by angelic armies and ancestral warriors cannot take place. So now learning that the very thing trying to be done to you is happening to them instead is what is occurring. Soul trapping, soul binding. Being trapped in consequences that cannot be escaped is their reality. Being bound to judgment that cannot be broken free from is what they face. This is legacy building, chosen one, not through accumulating wealth or achieving fame, but through establishing spiritual authority that gets passed down through bloodlines, through creating space for divine blessing to flow to descendants who will carry mantles being activated right now, through proving that one person fully surrendered to divine will can change the trajectory of an entire family tree. You are that light, not because being perfect is your state, but because carrying the presence of the one who is light is your reality. When walking into spaces happens, the atmosphere shifts. When speaking truth occurs, lies lose power. When standing in your authority takes place, demons recognize rank and back down. This is not arrogance. This is reality. Being commissioned by the Most High God to be a bearer of divine light in dark places has happened for you, and everywhere you go, bringing heaven's presence with you, whether consciously activating it or not, is what happens. This is what cannot be understood by them. Thinking power comes through taking as their belief, through manipulation, through force, through sacrifice of others. But real power, the kind that moves heaven and earth, that comes through surrender, through submission to divine will, through choosing righteousness, even when it costs you everything in the natural. This is the power you carry. This is the authority that makes their magic look like child's play. Let them be offended. Let them misunderstand. Let them judge and criticize and talk about you. Because while being busy discussing whether doing it right is what you are doing is their focus, being busy actually doing what you were sent here to do is your reality. While debating theology is what they do, demonstrating power is what you do. While protecting tradition is their concern, walking in transformation is your experience, and the fruit of your life will prove which approach actually works. The cult is learning this lesson the hard way right now. Thinking superior spiritual knowledge was possessed, happened, believing ancient rituals gave an edge was their conviction, convincing themselves that secret wisdom passed down through their organizations made them elite occurred. But chosen one, all their knowledge is producing is judgment, all their rituals are manifesting is destruction, all their secret wisdom is revealing, is that being deceived into thinking darkness could ever overcome light is what happened. Meanwhile, you with your simple faith, your direct prayers, your personal relationship with the divine, experiencing protection that their complex ceremonies cannot penetrate, is your reality. Walking in blessing that their elaborate rituals cannot block is what you do. Demonstrating power that their secret knowledge cannot explain is what happens through you. This is the foolishness of God being wiser than human wisdom. This is the weakness of God being stronger than human strength. The awakening code that opened this entire message is coming full circle now. Not just waking up to what was done to you is what is happening. Waking up to who you actually are is what occurs. Not just becoming aware of their attacks is the shift. Becoming aware of your authority is what is taking place. Not just seeing their wickedness exposed is what you witness. Seeing your righteousness vindicated is what you experience. This awakening is multi-layered. Being revelation upon revelation upon revelation is its nature. And with each new layer of understanding, stepping into greater levels of power is what happens for you. With each revelation about their operations, gaining wisdom about spiritual warfare is what occurs. With each confirmation of divine protection, building faith that will carry you through whatever comes next is what takes place. This is not just about surviving what happened. This is about thriving because of what was learned through the process. The righteous will shine like the sun. That phrase from the scripture is not future tense for you. Being present tense is what it is. Shining right now is what you are doing. In this moment, the light coming from your life is so bright that people cannot look directly at you without being convicted or inspired. Your very presence makes the wicked uncomfortable because highlighting their darkness is what happens. Your continued blessing makes the compromised question their choices because proving righteousness pays, is what it does. The cult is falling. The wicked are being judged. The systems built on darkness are collapsing, and rising is what you are doing, not because being better than anyone is your state, but because choosing better than many is what happened, not because being perfect is your reality, but because being positioned is what occurred, not because never failing happened, but because never quitting is what you did. And now the harvest of seeds planted in faith is about to manifest in ways that will leave no doubt that God is real and His word is true. So standing tall in this moment is what you need to do. Recognizing what is being witnessed is required. Understanding the magnitude of what is happening is necessary. This is not just personal vindication. This is cosmic realignment. This is heaven declaring that the age of the wicked prospering while the righteous suffer is over. This is the universe announcing that righteousness will no longer be mocked without consequence. This is God Himself speaking judgment over those who touched what should have been left alone. And you, beloved chosen one, being at the center of this divine demonstration, is your position, not as victim, not as casualty, but as victor, as evidence, as proof that the Most High God still moves on behalf of those who trust Him, cannot be stopped because being called is what happened for you, cannot be defeated because being chosen is your reality, cannot be destroyed because being sealed occurred, and nothing, absolutely nothing can change what heaven has already decided about your future. Walk forward now in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The world is not ready for what is about to come through you, but ready or not, here you come, anointed, protected, empowered, victorious, unstoppable, untouchable, and absolutely unable to be stopped because being called before the foundation of the world for such a time as this is exactly what happened for you.